attacks was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I risked my life. I put my family in danger. If I was caught, they would have put a bullet in my head. But it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Terror plot foiled in Garden City, Kansas.
That would have been one of the most deadly acts of domestic terrorism ever in the United States. It would have been Oklahoma City.
He put his family, himself, in jeopardy for us.
Assault on the Capitol, the ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu, now streaming. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
National parks are incredibly safe places. A crime will happen.
Hey, my wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now.
I was shocked.
Something's not right.
Is that the gun?
That's not the gun.
What is it? I won't ask you again then. Are you a Nazi?
The deeper you go into the black market,
you put people in your life like this,
the darker it gets.
Why hasn't anyone come out and spoken?
It's about the money. That's why we do it.
Trafficked. New episodes Wednesdays at 9 on National Geographic.
All across the globe, the world will be celebrating the new year. And you can see it as it happens live. The global celebrations. See the new year as it comes in live. Streaming all day and night on ABC News Live. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff. Thank you so much for streaming with us at this hour. The FDA has authorized Merck's COVID-19 pill for certain adults who are at high risk of severe illness. In a statement, Merck says it will begin shipping its pill supply within days and that it is committed to providing timely access, their words, to the drug. U.S. government, we're told, has purchased 3.1 million treatment courses. Now, it's the second treatment in pill form to be authorized after the FDA gave Pfizer's COVID pill the green light yesterday. Pfizer says that pill, which can be taken at home, is 89% effective at reducing the risk of severe illness and death from COVID-19 when it is taken early. The Omicron variant is fueling a surge in cases as millions begin to travel for the holidays. We're going to have more on that for you in just a moment. The Department of Labor is reporting 205,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, meeting expectations. The number remaining unchanged indicates the Omicron surge has not resulted in a wave of layoffs like 2020, at least not yet, a promising sign for the economy. The jury in the trial of Kim Potter is entering its 4th day of deliberations. Potter, the former police officer who killed 20-year-old Dante Wright when she fired her gun instead of her taser, faces first- and second-degree manslaughter charges for the killing and could face up to 15 years in prison if convicted. We are also awaiting a verdict in the fraud trial of Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes. Both juries could reach a verdict as soon as today, and we, of course, will bring you those decisions the minute they happen. And it was a dramatic ending to last night's Armed Services Bowl. Take a look at this. Army beating Missouri with a field goal as time expired. That Army Cole Talley knocking it true and through at 41 yards to cap off a second half comeback for the Black Knights. They were down 16-7, but fought back with their second string quarterback in the game after their starter was ruled out with a leg injury. That field goal keeping Army undefeated in the Armed Services Bowl as they end their season at 9-4. But now we want to turn to the latest on the pandemic. In an exclusive interview at the White House, World News Tonight anchor David Muir asked President Biden about his administration's plan to battle the Omicron variant and whether the president's team should have been better prepared.
I want to get right to Omicron. As you know now, the dominant strain here in the U.S., Dr. Fauci now says it could account for up to 90% of all new cases by just next week. The CDC now warning Americans that we could see peaks that we haven't seen so far in this pandemic. I know just before we sat down here, the FDA has now authorized the first COVID pill, the first antiviral pill from Pfizer. 89% effective at preventing hospitalizations and death. The obvious question for you, Mr. President, is how much has the government purchased? How much is ready to go right away?
We've purchased several million already, but here's right away, I think don't hold me the number, I think it may be 20 million, but a lot of pills, all they can make so far. But you know, I hope we don't get there, because if people get the shots, they get their 2 shots and a booster, they're not going to be in a position where they're going to need such a pill.
Do you have any idea how quickly the American people will actually see these pills? How soon we're going to be able to get them to hospitals that are already seeing patients?
The answer is, I think it'll be a matter of weeks to a month to get the pills, but it won't be enough to get to all the hospitals. We ordered a lot more of those pills. We now have to order millions of those pills.
You told the American people just yesterday that we are prepared for what's coming. But 3 days before Christmas, if you look out across the country, you see it everywhere, these long lines, people waiting for hours outside in the cold just to get tested, to be reassured before they spend time with their family. If you go to the pharmacy, we hear this over and over again, empty shelves, no test kits. Is that a failure?
No, I don't think it's a failure. I think it's, you could argue that we should have known a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago. I've ordered 500 million of the pills. 500 million pills. 500 million test kits that are going to be available to be sent to every home in America if anybody wants them. But the answer is, yeah, I wish I had thought about ordering 500 million pills 2 months ago before COVID hit here.
But we're nearly 2 years into this pandemic. You're a year into the presidency. Empty shelves and no test kits in some places, 3 days before Christmas when it's so important. Is that good enough?
No, nothing's been good enough. But look, we're in a situation now where we have 200 million people fully vaccinated. 200 million people fully vaccinated. And we have more than that who have had one shot, at least one shot. And they're getting these booster shots as well.
I know you're going to get together with the children and the grandchildren for the holiday. How will that work? Will you all rapid test before you're together?
Yes. I'm doing it almost every day.
And is your hope that for the millions of Americans who are trying to get tests before the holiday that they'll be able to do what?
Well, they won't be able to do it. The number of tests available, I've ordered 500 million of them for the United States to be sent to everybody who wants a test can have one sent to home.
And that's January,
That's
right?
in January.
And so will they have those rapid tests by when? By mid-January, by the end of January?
The answer is, the expectation is it'll be by the rapid tests will start going out in the beginning of January because they're being produced now.
Let me ask you about what we heard from Israel overnight. They're already moving forward with a second booster now. So this would be the 4th shot for people 60 and older and for frontline medical workers. Is that something you're considering?
I listened to the scientists. And I'm sure the scientists are paying very close attention to that. There may be a need for another booster, but that remains to be seen.
So it remains a possibility?
It remains a possibility.
I want to ask you about something I asked weeks before the election when we sat down. You said you would absolutely serve 8 years if elected. Do you plan to run for re-election?
Yes. But look, I'm a great respecter of fate. Fate has intervened in my life many, many times. If I'm in the health I'm in now, if I'm in good health, then, in fact, I would run again.
And if that means a rematch against Donald Trump?
You're trying to tempt me now. Sure. Why would I not run against Donald Trump, even the nominee? That would increase the prospect of running.
Our thanks to President Biden and, of course, David for that interview. Now to the potential game changer in the fight against COVID-19. The FDA has authorized the first pill that people can take at home to treat the virus. Pfizer says its pill is 89% effective at reducing the risk of severe illness and death from COVID-19 when taken early. This, as the Omicron variant fuels a surge in cases all across this nation, up by more than 70% since last month alone. ABC's Trevor Ault with the latest.
America's healthcare workers expanding their medicine cabinets in the fight against the virus. The FDA authorizing Pfizer's COVID-19 pill Paxlovid. It's designed to treat infection early, and you can take it at home. Studies show it can reduce the risk of hospitalization nearly 90% among people at risk for severe illness.
As quickly as Pfizer gets the pills manufactured and delivered, we will immediately provide them to states and jurisdictions for distribution.
The federal government has ordered 10 million courses of the pill, but that order will take months to fully fulfill. And with the holidays here, Dr. Anthony Fauci says you should consider asking unvaccinated family members not to come.
We're dealing with a serious enough situation right now that if there's an unvaccinated person, I would say, I'm very sorry, but not this time.
Omicron is already leading a significant new surge. The U.S. topping 1 million new infections over the past week. New York's caseload rocketing past its highest daily total ever.
This virus is going vertical. It's going straight up.
Officials are now trying desperately to keep up with the staggering demand for tests.
I'm here today to get tested for COVID because everybody around me has it.
Thousands lining up at this drive-through site in Cleveland.
We have not been able to find rapid tests or any tests really anywhere.
There in Ohio, 6 hospitals taking out a full-page ad in the Cleveland Plain Dealer saying help, pleading for people to get vaccinated.
These Pfizer pills will be available by prescription, and some hospitals anticipate they'll get the first doses as early as next week, and that early limited supply will likely be given to people who are showing serious symptoms and who have other underlying conditions that make them high risk. Phil?
All right, Trevor Ault, thank you. Let's turn now to holiday travel, now in full swing. Today could be the busiest day if you're flying. The lines are already forming at airports around the country, and you'll also have plenty of company if you're traveling by car as well. We're going to have more on that in a minute. But first, Elwin Lopez at Atlanta International Airport with the latest. Good morning, Elwin.
Hey, Phil, throughout the morning, we've seen a steady buildup of traffic here, and that's no surprise as today might be the busiest travel day in 2 years, and this airport is expected to be the busiest one this holiday. Nationwide, we could see about 2.5 million people taking the skies today. TSA already screening more than 12 million since last week. All of this despite concerns over Omicron. Travel app Hopper predicts we could see 2.2 million travelers every single day over this holiday rush. That is double what we saw in 2020. All of this comes as JetBlue joins Delta in its push for the CDC to shorten quarantine times if you get COVID and are fully vaccinated, claiming the current 10-day period may significantly impact its workforce and operations. And while a negative COVID-19 test is not required for domestic flights, we've seen many travelers making a stop at testing sites before coming here to the airport and boarding their flights. As for roads, AAA predicts we could see 100 million people hitting the roads this holiday season. The worst times to travel between noon and 7 p.m. The best right after 7 p.m. Phil?
Elwin Lopez from Atlanta, thank you. Traveling by car won't be much better. You know that if you've tried to do it. So let's get to Alex Perez in Chicago with a look at the roads. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, Phil, well, take a look behind me here. You can see traffic is moving pretty freely here on Lakeshore Drive. If you're planning on getting on the road this holiday, well, guess what? You're not going to be alone. In fact, a record number of people are expected to travel by car this holiday season. About 100 million people, according to AAA. It depends where you're headed, but try to avoid peak times if possible. AAA says the worst will be from noon to 6 p.m., the best after 7 p.m. Some grid Goldilocks spots that many are already bracing for. Detroit this morning on US 23 North, 8 Mile Road to I-96, expecting about 209% more traffic than usual. San Francisco this evening, I-80 North from 580 to San Pablo Dam, 166% more traffic than usual. And right here in Chicago, 290 West, the Eisenhower from Morgan to Wolf Road this afternoon, a whopping 240% more traffic than usual. Now, Phil, the reminders, you probably have heard them before. Leave early, don't rush, and of course, bring as much patience with you as you've got. Phil?
Alex, Perez in Chicago, thank you very much. In my experience, it's really the patience, because leaving the time sometimes doesn't matter. Good luck, though, in getting to where you're going. Coming up, at-home rapid COVID tests flying off the shelves just ahead of the holiday weekend. How they can help you keep your gatherings safe.
It was an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new Hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
It was a scary time.
In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there.
This was premeditated evil.
We have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
World News Now.
And America This Morning.
The best new video.
Breaking news overnight.
Your money and concerns about inflation.
The pandemic is not over.
The stories people are talking about.
You don't want to shave your legs? Don't. I was gonna say. And what to expect in the day ahead.
From the top of the world, baby! ABC World News Now and America This Morning.
Weekday morning starting at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Up all night to keep you up to date.
Right now, with so much at stake, Sunday mornings, this is the place. Taking on all the tough questions, straightforward reporting, no spin, no hype, no bull. See why Sunday mornings, more and more Americans are now turning first to ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos.
Welcome to This Week. Let's do this! When you wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, darling, I'll be by your side. Hold up your hand, let the stars shoot again, let the light.
Good morning, America.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move out. Let's move out.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run with.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
Welcome back. As millions of Americans hit the road for the holiday, many are turning to rapid antigen tests to make sure they are not contagious before gathering with their families and friends. And if you're questioning minor symptoms like runny nose or headache, rapid tests could help you get to the bottom of it. If that is, you can find one. ABC's Maria Villarreal has the latest.
They're the hot ticket item that could potentially save your holiday gathering. These rapid antigen tests are flying off store shelves. Some third-party retailers on Amazon even limiting their number of tests for purchase. Digital health company Roe packing and shipping thousands of tests out of their New York office. Abbott, the maker of Binex Now, telling ABC News they're running their U.S. manufacturing